Hello and good evening from your Kirk Community Stadium. I'm Shaun Cashmore. Next to me tonight is Leamington wide man currently out through injury, Miro, Pais, and you join us for the second time in 4 days here as Leamington take on Macclesfield in the National League North. On Saturday, Leamington slipped to 6th without a win in all competitions and back-to-back league defeats at home and in the league as they conceded an 86th minute winner to Steve Watson's resurgent Darlington. Brakes boss Paul Holloran was clear to point out the positives from the game at the weekend, of which should not be overlooked, but it was a game without a goal for a Brakes side starting to struggle to find the back of the net, and a defeat that further adds to the importance of tonight's encounter against the Silkmen. It's now 19th in the league for the Brakes and 2 points off the drop zone, of whom the closest teams have a game in hand. In terms of the Silkmen, well, Macclesfield need no real introduction in terms of their journey as a football club. Akin to the story of AP Leamington many moons ago, the rise of the Phoenix Club, and so Macclesfield FC was formed, and what a rise it's been since then. Starting over from the 9th tier of English football, the Silkmen have achieved 3 promotions in 4 seasons as champions, have made the semi-final of the FA Trophy, and now find themselves battling it out in the National League North. Former player and brother of Manchester United and England great Wayne Rooney, John, now leads the team from the dugout. Again, just lays it in towards the number 6, Paul Dawson, the captain. 2 goals to his name already this season. Little triangle in the middle of the park, and then they've got Fenson on the right-hand side. Ball over the top. Street comes across, but it's easily collected and brought down by Danny Elliott, who now stands Street up on the right-hand side. Couple of step-overs onto his left foot. Chips one into the far post. Headed over Dan Meredith's head. It's going to arrive towards Johnson. Johnson onto his right foot. Goal-bound effort off the line by D'Amico Burton, and then touched behind, I think, for a goal kick, is it? No, it's going to be a corner. Well, Burton positioned himself really well. Johnson did what he did at the weekend when he got the winner against Curzon Ashton. Just picked up the ball in the 18-yard box, dropped it onto his right foot, sent one goalwards. Ravenhill was stationary. D'Amico Burton, though, was on the line to save Brakes' blushes.
That was a good play from number 10 there, just crossing it in. And then, winger hitting it, basically goal-bound. D'Amico saved the goal.
Yeah, D'Amico Burton using a little bit of experience he's already racked up at the age of 22 years old to keep Leamington goalless early on in this game. Corner though from the right hand side, whipped in, flat delivery all the way through the 6-yard box. How's it not been turned home? Leamington clear their lines at 6s and 7s in the opening minutes. Ball back out to the left hand side for Macclesfield. They're going to have a shot on goal for all of 25 yards, and it's really well saved again by Ravenhill. He was at full stretch to keep it out, but originally the corner came all the way through the 6-yard box. No one could get a touch on it for Macclesfield, and then it was recycled back in, and then Paul Dawson, looking for his 3rd goal of the season, brought out a fine stop from Rogan Ravenhill.
What a keeper he is. What a keeper he is. He just keeps on producing, don't he?
Edmondson, very versatile midfielder as well, can play anywhere really from central defence to central attack in midfield, but he's just inside there alongside Paul Dawson this evening, and it's Dawson who sends one long out towards this right hand side, and with almost chalk on his boots is Fenson, who drifts in off the touchline. Fenson. Here is that captain Dawson. Shaw's tracked him all the way back to support Burton. Still gets his cross in though, all the way to the far post. Headed down. Elliott takes one touch, drills it goalward left-footed. Well blocked by the Brakes, but it's recycled out towards Johnson. Johnson gets onto his right foot. Great challenge by the Brakes back line. They clear it, but only as far as Edmondson again. Forward come Macclesfield once more onto this left-hand side. Silkman fans in fine voices. The ball's worked all the way through to the far post, and somehow, well, I thought I was going to say it was touched in by Ricketts. I don't know how it stayed out. It almost seemed to come off the body of D'Amico Burton as it was touched goalwards by Ricketts and just ended up in the hands of Rogan Ravenhill.
I think it literally come off his head, just bounced off the floor, I think. Ooh, got away with one there.
That's twice that D'Amico Burton has found himself well positioned to clear one off the line for Leamington. Ravenhill takes the free kick, and it's headed straight back from whence it came, all the way up towards Elliott. Street had to get his feet sorted and did. He had to do it quickly. Leamington have the ball with Meredith on the right-hand side. Meredith, lovely drop of the shoulder, gets away from his man and then gives the ball away. But Crowther steps in, wins it back for the Brakes. Mitchell, Crowther, and now they give it away again. Now a 3-on-2 is developing. Elliott bears down on Burton. He's got Ricketts on the right-hand side. Elliott still goes full. Elliott has a drive at goal, puts it into the corner, and that's just what Danny Elliott does. His 6th goal of the season, his 48th for the club. Again, Leamington have give the ball away. They've worked it into a really good area, but you cannot give Danny Elliott that sort of space in front of your 18-yard box, in front of your goalkeeper, because he will punish you. Macclesfield 1, Leamington 0.
I thought D'Amico done enough just to put him off, but he's managed. Ball just spun a little bit in front of him and he just buried it into the bottom corner.
It's just what Danny Elliott does. You know, I said it as the goal went in, you cannot give him that space, Miro, because he's just a goal pig. He will hit the back of the net if you give him a sniff, and he's just whipped it into the corner with aplomb. Street gets a touch on it in towards Williams. Williams just offloads towards Walker, who stabs it down the line, but again it's turned over straight away by the Silkman, and forward comes goal scorer Elliott. Out towards this left-hand side, Johnson. Plenty of space to move forward towards the Leamington back line. Johnson onto his right foot, thought about the shot, chips it in towards the penalty area. Burton tries to stab it away, only as far as Meredith, who heads it back down to Johnson again. Johnson in towards the penalty area. His right-footed drive is deflected, and it's going to be a corner. Really good feet again from Justin Johnson. He scored 2 at the weekend, as we previously mentioned in the first half. He was trying to make it 3-2, and in the end, Leamington have had to concede the corner. Tim Berridge is the last man forward for the breaks on halfway. Ball worked in all the way towards the far post. Free header at the back post, headed towards the goal and just fended away by Ravenhill at his far post. It's going to be another corner.
Yeah, going back to that phase of play that they do, it's a little bit too easy, you know, to get it for a switch of play. We need to try and affect that player that is switching the ball, but it's a little bit tough.
Lacey, this one again is into the near post, flick goalwards, and Ravenhill again has to tip it over his crossbar. It's a save he should make, but it's a really good little flick goalwards. But I think it was by Luke Duffy. The near post corner was almost a little back heel flick, and it just had to be tipped over his own crossbar by Ravenhill.
I don't even know how he's got his leg that high to do a scorpion kick standing up. What is going on?
Leamington certainly asserting themselves better in this second half, but still a goal down as we approach the 70-minute mark. But certainly well in this game are the breaks at 1-0. Meredith throwing towards Berridge, touches it inside towards Mitchell. Mitchell does shoot, but it's well blocked by the back line, collected by Williams, who's got support on this left-hand side and uses it. Didn't give it towards Burton, though. He wanted Burton, I think, to get away from him and go more down the line and get a bit wider, but instead he just takes the throw in quickly, doesn't stand on ceremony, gets on with it. Leamington certainly feel there's something in this game for them. Crowther receives it from the captain Walker. Meredith on this right hand side. Leamington trying to move the ball quicker. Walker, Mitchell inside the Macclesfield half. Shaw comes deep to collect, turns away from his man and spins. Now he's got a little bit of space to advance, tried to lay it back in field towards Berridge, but didn't work out, and now Elliott receives the loose ball from the Macclesfield backs line and just allows his defence to step out, holds it up, gets away from Williams, gets away from Mitchell, feeds it in towards his captain Dawson. It's really good play from Macclesfield. Now they free up Johnson on this left hand side. Johnson bears down in towards the 18-yard box, left footed back towards the number 6 Dawson on the edge. Really good block by Leamington. It'll be recycled in towards Edmondson out towards that right hand side, collected by Ricketts now, and he just lays it down the line to Fensom. Incredibly, Fensom more advanced than Ricketts, who's the right winger, and that just shows just how much these fullbacks get for. Here comes the swashbuckling Miniisi. Out towards this left-hand side, Johnson, good ball into the area, good header by Crowther. It's going to come down towards Duffy. Duffy leaves it towards Fensom. Fensom towards the far post. Elliott couldn't touch it in. Leamington pack the box. Theo Street having his shirt pulled, trying to get away from his man. Mitchell gives the signal. Good ball into a dangerous area. Headed away well, though, by the Macclesfield back line. Mitchell will come back out. Tries to recycle it first time, but can't. Meredith will cross from deep in towards a really good area. Headed away again, though. Mitchell collects the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Tripped inside the penalty area. Referee waves it away. Well, the referee waved it away straight away, but the Leamington bench were up, and now the Leamington bench are furious because a free kick has been given on halfway. Wow, Rose is furious with the referee. Mitchell certainly looked to be clipped inside the penalty area, and everybody in the Leamington dugout was up. They certainly thought that he was clipped. Mitchell had no real reason to go down unless he was clipped, but the referee raved it away. The thoughts of Miro Pais next to me.
I do not understand how that is not a penalty. He's literally got the ball under control, driving into the box. Defenders come across him, clipped him, and he just fell over. Literally, I do not understand how that is not a penalty. It is beyond me, actually.
Meredith, free kick into a good area, headed down inside the penalty area. Walker drives one goalwards, not blocked by the back line. Back comes the goalkeeper Dermy, he just plucks it off the head of Ant Lynn. He gets a big slap on the back from all the Macclesfield back line, and it just wouldn't fall for Leamington, Miro.
Nah, I thought we would have just got, a little bit of luck, but no, it's just the keeper's come and grabbed it.
Ball works short in towards Meredith, works it in from a deep angle, but the cross is blocked, cleared away by Macclesfield. Edmondson puts his boot right through it. Ravenhill comes way out just to clear it back in towards the danger zone. Needs to be brought down well, is brought down well, really well on the right hand side. Can they get the ball into the penalty area? Meredith in towards a good area, really well blocked by Macclesfield. Brilliant defending, fantastic defending. Mellor then escapes, Elliott escapes. Elliott is away from Clark. Clark's tried to bring him down. Elliott's one-on-one, bears down in towards the penalty area. Elliott's round the goalkeeper. D'Amico Burton's back there again. D'Amico Burton, fantastic defending. It is obscene defending by D'Amico Burton, but it counts for nothing. The referee's full-time whistle has gone. Leamington is still unhappy. Joe Clark still protesting the penalty that wasn't given. Leamington have given it their all in the second half, but they have just come up short against the Silkmen. Much better showing in the second half from this Breaks team, but in the end, the man who's proved the difference is Danny Elliott. His 6th goal of the season, his 48th for the club in his 63rd appearance. That's just what he does. He scores goals, and he scored one again this evening to separate these two teams. So that is how it has ended here this evening. It's finished here at your Co-op Community Stadium. Leamington 0, Macclesfield 1. We'll speak to you again soon.
Paul, there's quite a lot to unpack from that game. Obviously, Leamington have come away the losers of the game, but a very bright second half, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Certainly pleased with that. I thought first half we passive. They've come out at a unbelievable tempo, similar to Fylde, and I think we got caught in between the lines, got caught in the bright lights a little bit, and we were sort of in between too much, and as much as we struggled first half, they were very, very good. That was here, just up until now, you'd probably say South Shields are the best side that's come here, but but that first half performance. The levels were really high, and I think in this division at the moment you have got some of these full-time outfits, some of the quality of the players, the depth of the squads. It's impressive, really. So yeah, it was a tough night. It was certainly first half was really tough for us. Showed a bit of. Listen, we got blocks in. We've tried to hang on in there, I think, at times, and lacked a bit of quality, and then I think then all of a sudden you could see us. We just got a bit. We need to settle down. We needed to just look after our own little areas and just try and get a foothold in the game. Towards the end of the first half, I think we did that. I think second half we had a little bit of a sort out in terms of our shape out of ball. Had to be a bit braver at times. We had to get another pass in at times instead of just keep clipping things down the line. That's just when you're up against it, you, as a player. Sometimes you just want to get it away from you. But we had to be bright, and we were a lot brighter second half. Don't get me wrong. The problem with committing a little bit more and getting a few more passes in, their counter-attacking was so quick. The front four players, so that left us. But I was happy with that. I thought you could see second half it was more of a game. It was more competitive. Listen, they've still had the better chances. I think the quality they've got on the pitch determines that. But we've had a go. We've had a good go. We've got round them a bit. We've landed on more second balls. We've got a bit more quality into the final third. But they smothered us really. We haven't been able to create many clear-cut chances. We've had a couple of half chances. That's all we could smother tonight. Because listen, we were well beaten. But as a group, we were a bit braver second half. We've had a bit more territory. It was more competitive, and it's probably somewhere where it needed to be. At the moment, the players have just got to keep trying to put the levels up. I think anyone watching the team can see they're all trying. They're all working hard. At the moment, they're trying to hang on in there with some really good sides. But listen, no, much more encouraging second half. A bit braver, a bit more aggressive, and we've certainly competed better against Macclesfield. But the bottom line is the best team won tonight, quite comfortably.
Obviously, the fixture doesn't end there. On Saturday, we've got a very important game against Oxford. What's the thoughts going into that game, and how important is it for you and the team?
Yeah, well, they're all important, aren't they? I think at the moment there's games you're playing, certain clubs you're playing at the moment, and you're going into them, and it's sort of you've been starved of the ball because of the quality of the teams. That bit like that tonight. There's games we probably played here Saturday. Darlington, maybe Hereford here. It was a bit more nippy. I think you look back at them games now, and the sloppiness in the goals we've conceded, and the points we're dropping in them games are probably hurting us more. It's if you can go and pick up a point at Fylde on a Tuesday night, they're for clubs like Leamington, they're real win-wins. But obviously, yeah, there's games, and Oxford are sort of in our sort of area of the league at the moment. But they're another full-time football club, so you can't lose sight. They're a good side, and yeah. And listen, I think we certainly over the weekend there's certainly been phases, certainly moments or periods in both games when you'd looked at it and thought, yeah, you can see, there's bits there that are, yeah, we're happy with, and certainly the character of the team's never in question. It's been a difficult start for us. We probably had a couple of things pre-season that didn't quite work for us, which happens. We've run our third or fourth goalkeeper. We've got 2, 3, 4 injuries to players. So there's been a lot of swapping, chat. Not that we wanted to do that. So that's not been ideal. But you've got to say the boys that have come in and sort of come into the group, are getting into it. And there's 1 or 2 players getting more minutes now that hopefully, Rogan was good again tonight. Theo's coming in and done well. I think D'Amico's followed up Saturday's performance, good performance again. You try and get more minutes into Luke Shaw, Lewis Rose as well. And I thought Dylan did well in there. I thought second half he was, we played through him a bit more. But yeah, it was tough. It was a tough night, but I thought we were braver. Certainly plenty, certainly, as you stand there on the line, you can see they're all trying to do the right things, they're all trying to work hard, but we're trying to bridge some big gaps at the moment. You have to be realistic about it. We're trying. It's quite telling, but that's the way this league is quite unforgiving, and I've said it right from the word go. This league is just getting stronger and stronger, and it's where it is. So we just got to, yep. There's only one way, I think, where we are as a football club. We've just got to keep working as hard as we can, try and be as organised as we can, and try and get through this difficult period, and hopefully come out and start picking up some clean sheets and some points, and just get going again, hopefully.